I joined the army.
Do the hymns first, number 1. 2, 3, 4, sorry, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, nope, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, 35, 42, 43, 81, 31, 4205. Nope. 4205 not here. Okay, so today we start lesson number 3 about log. So So we're going to be starting listening to the first clip for the lesson, which is 116. So listen to 116, listen to Fred and Edna talking about their relationship and answering the following questions. Please pay attention, because after this in the clip, I wanted to answer the first question. When did they first met? And B, when did they get married to each other? They try to get the answer for those two questions. Okay, so let's listen to the clip.
First met 50 years ago. We first met 50 years ago.
I joined the army and I waited for my training. On the first day, I went to the canteen and this little lady was serving lunch.
Yes, I was. I liked him. So I gave him extra chips.
Anyway, we started talking. Then one night there was a party.
I said to Fred, I'll be your girl tonight. And that was it.
Yes, we went out together for 3 wonderful months.
We did.
Then we both moved to different places. At first, we wrote to each other, twice a week.
Yes. But then we stopped. I don't know why. But we lost touch with each other. Then we got married to other people. I had 2 children and Fred had a daughter, didn't you?
That's right. I was married for 48 years, and then my wife died.
And I got divorced after 30 years of marriage.
So we were both single again.
And one day, my grandson took me to Blackpool for the day. I visited all the old places and I thought about Fred. I wanted to find him.
She didn't even know whether I was alive.
No, I didn't. So I wrote a letter to the editor of the local newspaper.
I have a cousin in Blackpool. She doesn't usually buy the newspaper, but on that day she did. She bought the paper and she saw the letter, and she realised that Edna was looking for her.
He rang me up. I nearly had a heart attack. I said, "Is that my friend?" I was so happy.
We met soon after that. We realised we were still in love, and we moved in together a few months later.
We got married last summer. I didn't want to lose him again.
Okay.
One.
First question.
Keep. Kept. Mean.
First question. When did they first met? Huh? Answers. When did they first met? 50 years ago. Yes. Answers next slide. Okay, what's the answer for the second one? Last summer, right? This is our 2 answers. 50 years ago, this is when they first met. When did they get married to each other? Last summer. Okay, so in the clip, they talk about this place here, Blackpool. Where is this Blackpool? So here's a cultural note. Blackpool is a seaside town on the northwest coast of England, famous for its tower, built in 1894, inspired by the E04 Tower and Central Pier. Blackpool was the top resort in the north of England until cheap foreign travel allowed British tourists to travel to sunnier parts of the world for their holidays. So these are the pictures there, right? So this is a touristic place. So they met there. And she wrote a letter to the Blackpool editor of the newspaper that's that place. Alright. So now let's try to do the skill exercise number 2. So you have to write he, she, or they in these sentences about Fred and Edna's story. So while you're trying to do this, I will let you listen to the clip again. Okay? So for example, the first one is done. They first met in Blackpool. So we don't say he or she met, because both of them met in the Blackpool and they went together for the 3 months. So letter B, who? He, she, or they? Okay? So I'll let you listen again while you do this second exercise.
We first met 50 years ago.
I joined the army and I went to Blackpool in the north of England for my training. On the first day, I went to the canteen and this little lady was serving lunch.
Yes, I was. I liked him. So I gave him extra chips.
Anyway, we started talking. Then one night there was a party.
I said to Fred, I'll be your girl tonight. And that was it.
Yes, we went out together for 3 wonderful months.
We did.
Then we both moved to different places. At first, we wrote to each other. We wrote twice a week.
Yes. But then we stopped. But we lost touch with each other. And we got married to other people. I had 2 children and Fred had a daughter, didn't you?
That's right. I was married for 48 years. And then my wife died.
And I got divorced after 30 years of marriage.
So we were both single again.
And one day, my grandson took me to Blackpool for the day. I visited all the old places and I thought about Fred. I wanted to find him.
She didn't even know whether I was alive.
No, I didn't. So I wrote a letter to the editor of the local newspaper.
Now, I have a cousin in Blackpool. She doesn't usually buy the newspaper, but on that day she did. She bought the paper and she saw the letter and she realised that Edna was looking for me.
He rang me up. I nearly had a heart attack. I said, "Is that my Fred?" I was so happy.
We met soon after that. We realised we were still in love and we moved in together a few months later.
We got married last summer. I didn't want to lose him again.
Okay, let's try to do this one, okay? So you start here. So letter D. Huh? They moved, letter B, they moved to different places and lost touch with each other. Okay, letter C. So he was married to another person for 48 years. Okay, letter D. She got divorced after 30 years of marriage. Now, letter E. So she went to the Blackpool with her grandson and visited all the old places. Letter F. She talked about Fred and wanted to find him. Letter here. G. Huh? So letter, she, right? She wrote a letter to the local newspaper. Okay, letter H. H. So he had a cousin in Blackpool who told him about the letter. Letter sorry. Huh? They met soon after that and moved in together. So they got married 50 years after they first met. Okay. So you can check all the answers. These are the correct answers over there. Everyone check the answers? Can I move on? Yes? Okay, next. So now let's do the vocabulary and speaking. Number 1, complete the expressions in the box sentences below with the words in the box. So we have the box here: get, have, leave, lose, and love. So the first one is done for you as an example. Letter A, the best age to, you use the words get. So the best age to get married is 25 for women and 27 for men. So I use the first one. So I'll give you 1 minute or less to do the next one, to do the rest. Go ahead. Okay, letter B. The next you have, right? You have children. Okay, you letter C. So a big difference in age isn't a problem for a couple if they are in love. Good. Okay, next. It's a good idea for a couple to live together for a few years before getting married. Okay, next person. It doesn't matter if children lose touch with one of their parents. Lose touch with one of their parents. Okay, these are the correct answers. Okay, now the exercise number 2 is for you to work in small groups. So discuss the statements in exercise 1. Do you agree or disagree? For example, these are statements, right? The best age for getting married is 25 for women and 27 for men. Do you agree or disagree? This is your own opinion, right? There is no right or wrong answers. So do you believe it? Do you agree the first statement? Yes or no? Letter B. Do you agree the statement? D. Do you agree or disagree? C, D, E, right? So I will give you 1 minute to discuss with the student beside you, okay? And then I'll be asking your opinion, okay? Go ahead and discuss. I want you to talk to each other to see, to tell if you agree or not. Okay, who's next? Okay, so you talk to part, right? Okay, Tommy, do you agree, letter A? Do you agree or disagree? Huh? Can you tell me why? What? Okay, you disagree. Okay, so tell me what's the best age for a man and for a woman to get married? What's the sort of age? So you don't agree with that number, right? So which is your number? So for you, for example, which is the best age for a man and a woman to marry? 30 for what? Man, and what about the woman? 28. Okay. So your letter is B. So do you agree with letter B? The main reason for getting married is to have children. Do you agree? Huh? Yes, can you tell me why? Okay, so when I ask you, maybe you can tell me why, right? You disagree or agree. Okay, so let's see the next one, letter C. So a big difference in age isn't a problem for a couple if they are in love. Not a problem? How big can be the difference between, for example, 10 years is too much, 20 years is okay? How much can be the difference? How much is okay? Huh? 10. 11 is not okay. Huh? So in Philippines, for example, there are couples that are having 30 years difference. Philippines. I've heard of them. Okay? Okay, here. So letter D. Is it a good idea for a couple to be together for a few years before getting married? Is it okay? Yes? Why? hobbies without living together? When they're dating, they're not living together, they're just dating, they can know each other's hobbies. For example, I dated before I got married 2 years, I know every hobby of my ex-wife. Why I didn't marry her? Okay, and the last one. It doesn't matter if the children is discussing with one of their parents. Huh? Why? Yes, I agree, right? So don't lose touch with your parents. I don't agree. Okay. So as you can see, I don't have time to go to each one of you, right? So that's important that you talk to your partner because you are kind of practicing for a conversation. Okay, so let's move on. So now is the vocabulary part. Match each of the verb phrases in the box with the appropriate picture. So you have here number 1, check somebody out. Number 2, fancy somebody. Number 3, have a role. Number 4, moving together. So I want you to look at the picture and tell me which one, for example, is number 1, which one is number 2, 3, and 4. Okay, this is a very short one. Can we move on to who's next person? You're right. Okay, well, letter A. Which one is letter A? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay, letter A is all the answers. All the answers. Okay. So letter A is fancy somebody. Letter B is chat. Huh? Chat. No, sorry. Letter A is fancy somebody. Letter B is chat somebody up. Letter C is move in together. Letter D is have a role. Okay, did you get it right? Okay, easy, right? Okay. So now I want you to put the stages of a relationship in a logical order. Here we have 12 stages, right? You get married, you chat somebody up, you bring somebody up, you fancy somebody, you move in together, you have children, you meet the parents, you go out together, you have a role, you kiss, you split up, you fall in love. So which one of those happens first? Okay, so you put in order, the first one, the second one, the third one. And here is the vocabulary. What is it? For example, what does it mean to chat somebody up? Have a conversation. What does it mean to ring somebody up? For example, after you talk to someone, after you have a conversation, maybe you get their number, maybe you get their chat, maybe you can call them later, right? So this is ringing somebody up. You call them later. So you have to get the number first, right? So maybe you need to check before ringing, because before you check, you don't have the number. So usually when I go to the canteen, I kind of check somebody out, eating together, get their check, and then later I can ring them because now I have their check. Okay, let's see another vocabulary here. What does it mean have a role? This is from the last exercise, right? What does it mean have a role? Yes, they are arguing, right? They're fighting. Not all the time couples agree with each other, right? No, I want to go to eat tacos. No, I want to go eat Japanese food. No, I want to taco. No, Japanese. And they're fighting, right? So sometimes there's couple fighting. So that's all, okay? We'll be together, chat, fancy. What is fancy? So you're actually fancying somebody out, right? Or you think she's attractive, or vice versa, or you think, oh, he's so awesome. I want to date him, right? So you're fancying somebody out. All right, I'm going to give you 1 minute, okay? So for you to put this in order. And then I will see some of your opinion. So how do you put it in order, okay? I'll give you 1 minute. Go ahead. Okay, who's next? Who's next? Okay. Tell me the order that you think is for you. D, fancy somebody else. Somebody else. B, you check somebody out. And then C, you read somebody out. And then I, L, you fall in love. And then J, you meet the parents. Oh, J, sorry, yeah, you kiss. J, sorry, kiss. And then H, you go out together. E, you move together. D, sorry. G, you meet the parents. A, you get married. I, you have a role. F, you have children. K, you split up. Okay. For example, I didn't tell you this, but if you read the red letters, add or take away stages if you think it's necessary. For example, maybe you don't agree with K, erase. You don't have this stage yet. Maybe you don't have to break up, right? Maybe you get to love the person, never fights, right? Maybe you erase, right? So you can add or take away stages. For example, I will give you my opinion, okay? That's my opinion. I heard her opinion, so let's see my opinion. So this is how I will do it. It might be different than you, right? Because you have a different opinion. So that's how I will do it. Okay. For example, maybe for me, it's, you chat somebody up. And then you fancy somebody up. You see them, you talk, you start liking them. So you go out together, and then you kiss. And then you fall in love. And then maybe you have some disagreements, right? And you have a role, maybe. So you understand each other, right? So you have a role, you get the agreement. And then, if you don't disagree, what happens usually when people fight? They break up. At fights, right? You're a bad person, I don't want to date you anymore, right? Maybe they split up, right? So maybe this is the end. Maybe, right? If you break up, this is the end. But if you don't break up, right? If you don't split up, then things get serious. And then, what means ring? Oh, sorry. So I made a mistake. Sorry. Okay. Ring somebody up. For example, maybe you put a ring in their finger. Maybe that's what they meant. So what does it mean to put a ring in their finger? Yes, you ask for marriage. Oh, I love you so much. Will you marry me? If you say yes, I put a ring in your finger, right? So I was telling you that the ringing in this way, like calling, but in this case here, ringing is put a ring in your finger, okay? Okay, so you ring somebody up, it means you ask them in marriage. I want to marry you, you set up a date, and then they are not you're not your girlfriend anymore. Then they become your fiancé. Right? Wife is when you get married. So it becomes a fiancé. Right? So this is when you ask somebody to marry them. And then you get married, and then for me, you move in together after marriage. Because moving together means living together. For me, I don't believe in living together before marriage. I am a religious person. I don't believe in that. A lot of people do believe it, but as for me, no. And then you have children, and that age, you have grandkids. For example, I'm adding. This was not in the list before. So I'm adding this one. Remember, you can add or erase, right? So I have grandkids, and then last one, you stay together forever, right? Do you believe in forever? Do you? I believe in forever. Right? Maybe it. Alright. Alright. Okay, so let's see one more person. One more. Who's next? One more person. And then we move on to the next exercise. Tell me the first one. D, which is you fancy somebody. Okay. And then B, you chest. Okay. C, you ring somebody. Okay, in this case, calling. H, you go out together. G, you have J, right? J, you have You have kids? Okay, tell me the next one. Fall in love. So have kids before fall in love? Oh, okay, fall in love, and then moving together. Meet the parents. So you're moving together before meeting the parents. Okay? Okay, you get married. You have children. You have a goal. Okay? Split. After getting married, you divorce. Oh, you surely don't believe me forever, right? So you're gonna have a divorce. Okay, thank you. All right. So we all have different opinions, right? But in my view, depending on the order that you put those things there, you're going to be successful or not. For example, if you're having children before getting married, maybe your chances of success is not that great. Because what does it mean having children before getting married? So the children, they're going to grow up, they don't know if the father married their mom, they don't know if they're committed to each other. That's not a good environment for the children. The children will not feel safe. Oh, my father can leave any time because he didn't marry my mom. That's not good, right? So, for example, that's why this order is very important. Because if you do things in out of order, you're going to be successful in romantic relationships. Do you understand? So you need to have some values, right? Oh, I have to do this first before I do this. Right? That's my point of view. I don't know. Maybe you have a different view, but that's all. So let's move on. Okay, so here's some language notes. So grammar, teaching irregular verbs. So there are approximately 180 irregular verbs. Some of these are rare, but most are very common. And students need to learn them. Second point, some people learn at least by heart. Others think that you just gradually acquire them over time. However, one useful method is for students to note down new irregular verbs when they met them in sentences, rather than individual words. For example, the verb go. So I went to a cinema last night with Jamie. So they are irregular, right? All right. So what time do you have a break? Break is 9:15, right? 10 more minutes. Okay, 10 more minutes and then we have a break. Okay, here are a list of the 120 most common irregular verbs. I usually don't recommend you memorize them. I have a different method. I want to be reading books, learning vocabulary that way. But this is maybe the one exception. I feel like maybe you should know those verbs because they are irregular and they're the most common ones, right? So it's very easy to find this in the internet. You maybe have some list by the end of your book. I think you have a list, right, by the end of your book. Some irregular verbs, maybe. Yes, you have some list, right? So try to learn them, right? Maybe you can read the whole list, right? Maybe one time every day. And if you do this for 1 week, maybe you get a very good grasp of those words. Here are some examples. The verb abide. Say abode, arise, arose, arisen, awake, awoke, awoken, be, was, were, be, there, born, become, became, become. Right? So these are the most common. Okay, it's very important. I will not read all of them for you. You can read it later. Okay, so let's try to do this next exercise. So grammar, write the affirmative and negative past simple forms of the verbs in the box. Here's the first one. It's done for you as an example. For example, be, right? You're going to be writing a simple form, was, were. And this is the negative one, right? Affirmative and negative. Wasn't and weren't. So now I want you to do for can, check, fancy, and all the others. I'll give you 1 minute. Go ahead. Okay, who's next? Okay, the first one is done, right? So the next one is can. Okay, can, could, couldn't. Okay, next. Checked it and didn't check it. Okay, okay. Check now. Fancy. Okay, fancied and didn't fancy. Next. Get. Got, didn't get. Next. Go. Went and didn't go. Had. Had. Didn't have. Here again, in the beginning. The first one. Kissed. Didn't kiss. Met. Meet and didn't meet. Okay, here, move. Here, move. Okay, moved, didn't move. Next, study. Studied and didn't study. The last one, want. So wanted and didn't want. Okay, so these are the correct answers. You have this square in your book, right big in the side of the book. That's simple. He went to Blackpool from the equator, right? So he didn't go to Liverpool. Did he go to London? Yes, he did. No, he didn't. So here's an example. I guess we're going to use it in the next exercise. Okay, now I want you to do exercise number 2. Write 2 sentences, affirmative or negative, with the verb in bracket. So you need to write a sentence in order to be true. Okay? For example, letter A. My mother and father met at university. Is that true? Maybe your mother and father did not meet at university. They met at the restaurant. So we're going to say, my mother and father did not meet at the university. So you write a sentence in order to be true. Do you understand? Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. So you can write A, B, C, D, E, F. Go ahead, 1 minute. So who's next? You, right? Okay, tell me letter A. So they didn't. So do you know where they did? No. You don't know, but you know it's not in the university. Yes. Okay. Okay, for example, my mother and father, in your case, didn't meet, met. I didn't meet at the university, so this is the right one for you. Okay, letter B. So for her, my grandparents didn't get married at the church. In case that is true for you, you would say my grandparents got married. But for her, my grandparents didn't get married in a church. Okay, you, letter C. Okay, a big breakfast this morning. If you didn't have a breakfast, I would say I didn't have a big breakfast this morning. Okay, you're the next one. D. You have a book? No, you're the next one. Letter D, I. For example, in her case, she said, I didn't go skiing last winter. But if you did go, you would say, I went skiing last winter. Okay, next E. So I didn't study German at school. But if you did study, you would say, I studied German at school. Okay, next, last one. So, I was very busy yesterday. But if you wasn't, you would say, I wasn't very busy yesterday. All right. So, let's understand a little bit about the using did, auxiliary, right? So, in the past simple, the auxiliary did, or, okay, let's take a break and do this after the break. Okay, so I'm giving you this as a homework for next class, okay? So, for example, you have to do this in groups, right? So, one group is one, for example, maybe you have a, let's see here. For example, let's say your group here. So let's say, for example, you're a group in the green one. So two students will be student A, the other two is going to be student B. For example, here, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. If there's a group of 5, it will be yes, for example, 5, right? So 1, 2, 3, student A, 4, 5, student B. You separate the group. So, and then you do the activity, right? You do this activity here, right? So, for example, two students will be student A, another two students are going to be student B. Sit together, do the exercise, and then next class you're going to give me one piece of paper with the answers from student A and B. Okay? So one report for the whole group, right? Don't give this many papers, right? One piece of paper with the answers for A and B. Okay? Then put your names on it. Put your names, right? Put their names and number of you in the group. Okay? Any questions? Okay, get together, do the activity, right? And then when you finish, one student is going to write all the answers for the group A and the group B. And then next class will give you the answers with their names and numbers. Okay? Alright, so let's go back here. Okay, let's read this one here. So in the past simple, the auxiliary didn't function in exactly the same way as do, thus, doesn't in the present simple. For example, yes, no questions, and short answers. Did you go to Liverpool yesterday? Yes, I did. And in the opening questions and negative sentence, who did you meet? I didn't meet anyone. Note that there is only one form, didn't for first, second, and third person. Note also that you use the infinitive form of the verb after the auxiliary. So didn't rather than the past form. For example, I didn't leave, not I didn't left. And did he go? Not did he went. So these are wrong. I right way did he go? You don't say did he went. I didn't leave. You don't say I didn't left. Now, write the true sentence, affirmative or negative, with the verbs in brackets. For example, the last exercise, right? You did the true answer, right? Okay. So if you did the true answer, now the second one here, I will need to, for example, here, okay. My mother, for example, here is the first one, right? My mother and father meet at the university. Now I want you to write the affirmative or negative, the verbs in the bracket. For example, here is affirmative, right? My mother my mother and father meet at the university. So the negative would be my, sorry, confusing. Okay, so now I'm going to make a question, right? So make a question, right? So we did this already, right? We did the true one, right? So now I want to make into a question, okay? For example, letter A, my mother and father met at the university. So that's the answer. So what would be the question for answer A? So the question would be, did your mother and father met be, right? My mother, father meet at university. So the answer is no, they didn't, or yes, they did. So make into a question. I'll give you 1 minute. So make a question. That's the exercise. Okay, who's next? Okay, so letter B. What's the question for letter B? So okay, that's the first one. Did your mother and father meet at university? Letter B. Did your grandparents get married in church? Okay, letter C. So did you have a big breakfast this morning? Okay, next. Did, okay, did. No, you can read. Can you read? Did you go skiing last winter? Okay, next, E. So did you study German at school? And the next one? So now it's not did, right? So now it's were you very busy yesterday? So most of the questions you use did. This is the one you did, right? So you use where. Were you very busy yesterday? Okay. So now your book has a few tables like this one here, right? This is designed to help you. For example, this is the affirmative. You would say, I worked. Or you say, you worked. He worked. She worked. It worked. We worked. They worked. So negative would be, I didn't work. You didn't work. He didn't work. She didn't work. It didn't work. We didn't work. They didn't work. So now if you turn it into a question, you would say, did I work? He worked. Did she work? Did it work? Did we work? Did they work? Now the short answer would be yes, I did. Yes, you did. Yes, he did. Yes, she did. Yes, he did. Yes, we did. Yes, they did. And the short answer negative would be no, I didn't. No, you didn't. No, he didn't. No, she didn't. No, he didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. So this is to help you, right, understanding how do you answer using the past simple. So now let's see spelling regular verbs. So in regular, you'll be adding ed or d after most verbs. They're regular, they're the same. You're going to be adding ed or d. For example, work, you're going to add ed. Work becomes worked. Demonstrate, you add ed. You only add d, right? Because you have a d. Right? So demonstrate becomes demonstrated. Okay, so here the next one, delete y and add I-E-D, for verbs that end in a consonant plus y. For example, study becomes studied, try becomes tried. So next, add a consonant plus ed for verbs that end in a one vowel plus one consonant, like for example, stop. You double the D, right? And ED, stop becomes stopped. Plant, we double the letter N, become plant. The irregular, this is the role for those verbs. Okay, now the most frequent used irregular verbs are. So remember the list of 120? Now, for example, if you ask me now, what are the most 10, not 120? So the most used irregular verbs are say, and that becomes said. Got becomes got. Go becomes went. Know becomes knew. Think becomes thought. See becomes saw. Make made. Come, can, take, took, and give, gave. So if you have the list deck of your book, I highly recommend that you at least give a look, right? After the lesson today, go there, have a look at the list, maybe read it one or two times, so you get familiar with those words. Okay, you can use the past simple as the main tense to talk about past events and past situations. It's commonly used to tell stories. There is only one past form for every verb except he. So here's another table in your book, right? Designed to help you how to use those verbs. For example, the affirmative, you would say, I was tired. He was tired. She was tired. But now, for you, we, and they is different. You were tired. You don't say you was tired. You say you were tired. We were tired. They were tired. So now there's a distinction between I, he, she, it, and you, we, they. Negative would be I wasn't tired. But you would be you weren't tired. Question. Question. Was I tired? And now for you here, say, were you tired? Short answer, yes I was, yes I was. Here, yes, yes you were. Short answer, negative, no, it wasn't. Right? No, I wasn't, or no, you weren't. Okay? Alright, so now let's do exercise 1. This is in the grammar extra by the end of your book. So do exercise 1. So write the past simple forms for these verbs set. So write the past simple form for these verb sets. So for example, this is one set. Letter A is one set. Letter B is another set. Letter C is another set. Letter D is another set. So in each set, which verb is the odd one out? So which one is a different one? For example, here, the set, work, worked. Go becomes went. Call becomes called. Help becomes set. Letter A, the go is the different one. Because see, the other ones are putting ed in the end, right? Ed, call ed, help ed. This is the only one who has no ed. So in the set letter A, the only one different is go, because they have no ed. So now I want you to do the same thing. You put the past simple letter B and tell me which one is different. Okay? So letter C, the same thing. Put the past simple, tell me which one is different. Letter D, put in the past simple, tell me which one is different. Go ahead, I'll give you 1 minute. Try to do it. If you've got it wrong, no problem. It's not a test. It's not going to be great, but try to do it. Put in the past simple, tell me which one is different. Okay, who's next? Okay, can you tell me? Letter B. Take, took, make, made, wait, walk, and bake. So bake is the regular one, baked, right? So, okay, that's the different one, okay? So take, took, make, made, wait, walk, bake becomes baked. So this one is the regular one, this one is different one. The other are irregular. Okay, letter C. Try, tried, play, played, study, and copy. Which one is different? Play, right? So play is a different one. Try, tried, play, played, right? Study, studied, copy, copied. So play is different because Y doesn't change to ED, right? YED. Okay, next, letter D. Stop. Okay, plan, chat, walk. Which one is different? There you go. Walk is different. So stop, stopped it. Plan, planned it. Chat, chatted. And walk, walked. So this is different because it doesn't double the final consonant. So the other ones, for example, stop, you double the P, you double the N, you double the T, and this one you don't double the letter, right? So you doesn't double the final consonant. All right. Any questions? Okay. Now I want you to write the past simple forms of those or these irregular verbs. For example, the first one is done for you. Teach becomes taught. Go ahead, I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, what's next? Okay, the first one, teach, taught. The letter sit. Set. Next. Say. Said. Said. D. No. Knew. Speak. Spoke. Oh no, is the last one there? Okay, oh, it's still there. Okay, make, made, begun, run, fell. The last one, right? Now back here. Oh, you, okay. Learn, learned, catch, caught, fly, flew, sing, sung. Okay, now back here. Thrill, swim, swung, read, understand, understood, bring, brought, run, slip, slept, find, found, where, What? Come? Came. Meet? Met? Talked. Okay. Good. Alright. So now I use the prompts in the bracket to write negative sentences about the past. So letter 1 is done for you as an example. My father taught me how to swim. So for example, you have to use the words in the bracket, which is how to drive. So use the prompt in the bracket how to write a negative sentence. So the letter A becomes my father didn't teach me how to drive. You see? For example, this is an example. My father taught me how to swim. Now we're going to be writing a sentence about how to drive, how to swim. So how to drive. So my father didn't teach me how to drive. So you're going to use the words in bracket and also going to put in the negative. You're going to do two things. You're going to use the words in the bracket and now put in the negative. So how to drive. So my father negative didn't teach me how to drive, which is how to drive. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute to do the same with letter B, C, D, E, F. Okay, who's next? Okay, letter B. So I didn't go to a private school. Okay, next person. So my parents didn't give me a present for my birthday. Okay, next, letter D. I didn't have meat for dinner last night. Okay, next. Right? No, okay. I didn't study English at school. And last one. So I didn't play basketball when I was young. Okay. Now let's listen to 117 and complete. So listen, complete, listen, check, listen, and repeat. So this is a pronunciation. So let's complete this in regular verb set, label with past forms in each group, and with those sounds. Okay, let's listen to 17.
Mean, meant, won, keep, kept. Mean, meant, meet, met.
2. Begin, began. Drink, drank. Ring, rang. 3.
Bring, brought. Buy, bought. Catch,
So you have to fill in the blanks. So listen and write it down, right? Fill in the blanks. One more time.
1. Keep, kept. Mean, meant. Meet, met.
So write it down. Meet here, right? Okay, move on.
2. Begin, began.
So write it down. Began.
Drink, drank. Ring, rang. 3.
Bring, brought. Buy, bought. Catch, caught.
Okay, so I hope you wrote the answer just like in the screen, right? So keep, kept, so this is the one that should be right, like meet, met, began here, drunk, buy, and cut. These are the ones that should write down, fill in the blank parts. Now, I want you to add the verbs in the box to the correct groups in the table. For example, here we have a table, and now we have a new verbs, right? So fight, read, sing, sleep, swim, and teach. I want you to add the verb in the correct table. You're going to be adding as in number 1, as in number 2, as in number 3. For example, you have to know the difference. What's the difference between 1 and 2, 2 and 3? So I want you to put those verbs inside of each correct column. Okay? I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, number 1 is done, right? So fight becomes fought is in number 3. Okay, who's next? Okay, read. Huh? Which one? Number 1, 2, or 3? Number 1. Okay, next, sing. Which one number? Which number? 2. Next, sleep. Number 1. Okay, next, swim is number? And speech is number? 3. Okay, let's check all the answers, right? So here is all the answers. So fight becomes fought. Read becomes read. Number 1. Sing becomes sung. Number 2. Sleep becomes slept. Number 1. Swim becomes swam. Number 2. And teach becomes taught. Number 3. Okay? You did? Okay. Did you correct your answers? Okay. So now let's listen to the how they pronounce number 18.
1. Read, read. Sleep, slept.
2. Sing, sang. Swim, swam. 3.
Fight, fought. Teach, taught. 1. Read, read. Sleep, slept.
2. Sing, sang. Swim, swam. 3.
Fight, fought. Teach, taught.
All right. So it's very important, right, to remember this is a pronunciation exercise. Remember the exercise that I gave it to you? Bought a book with an audio file. Listen first and then read out loud. This is how you learn how to pronounce it, right? So you see, there's a distinctive way of saying those words, right? So sleep, slept, right? So you have to be able to pronounce the word in the correct way. That's why you need to listen first. All right. So another exercise is listening number 1. Read about a television game called Get Personal and answer these questions. So I will play a clip, right? The next clip. So you need to pay attention because you need to answer those 3 questions. Who are the two people playing Get Personal tonight? B, how much is the prize money? And C, how can they win? So go ahead, read. Right? So you can read this little box here. I'll give you 1 minute. Go ahead. Read the box. Okay, who's next? Who's next? Okay, letter A. Who are the 2 people playing Get Personal? Huh? Who? Rosie and Dave. Rosie and Dave. Okay, how much is the prize money? Next person. How much is the prize money? 10,000 euros. Okay, next. How can they win?
They have to give the same answers for the same question.
Okay, here we go. These are the answers right here, right? So letter A, Rosie and Dave. Who are the 2 people playing the game? Rosie and Dave. Letter B, how much is the prize money? Here, 10,000 euros. How can they win? They have to give the same answers to the same questions. Okay, now over with the 119. So read the questions and answer in the table below. So listen and choose the answers A, B, C, right? That Rose gives. So let's play 119.
It's time for our popular competition, Get Personal, with your host, Bobby Brown.
Good evening, and welcome to this week's Get Personal. Let's meet our first couple, Rosie and Dave. As you know, Rosie and Dave are in separate studios. Rosie can't hear Dave, and Dave has no idea what Rosie is saying, but they can both hear me. Okay, are you ready to play Get Personal?
Yes, Bobby.
Right, we'll start with you, Rosie. We want you to remember exactly what was going on when you first met Dave, okay?
Okay, Bobby?
Now, Rosie, how did you first meet Dave?
Well, I was working as a nurse and Dave was my patient. He came into the hospital for an operation.
Okay, Rosie, I want you to think about the moment when you first met. What time of day was it?
I was working nights that week, so early evening.
And what was the weather like?
Oh dear. I think it was raining. Yes, it was raining when I arrived at work.
What were you both wearing when you saw one another for the first time?
Now that's easy. I was wearing my nurse's uniform and he was wearing pyjamas, blue pyjamas. Or were they green? No, blue.
Finally, who spoke first and what did he or she say?
Dave spoke first. He said, "Nurse, I'm going to be sick."
Oh, well, that's very romantic. Thank you, Rosie.
Okay, so okay, who's next? Okay, number one, how did you first met? So what's the answer that Rose gave? Huh? A. Okay. Next, what time of the day was it? Huh? Early evening. Number three, what was the weather like? The next person. B, was raining. Okay, number four, what were you both wearing? So she was wearing B, and he was wearing. So she was wearing B, a nurse's uniform, and he was wearing C, pink pajamas. Okay, number five, next, who spoke first and what did they say? He said, "I'm going to be sick." Okay, so let's see. Okay, I have the answer separate. Okay, number one, she was a nurse and he was a patient, right? Number two was early evening. What time of the day was it? It was early evening. Number three, so what was the weather like? It was raining. Number four, so what were you both wearing? She was wearing a nurse's uniform, letter B, and he was wearing a blue pajamas, letter A. Number five, who spoke first and what did they say? So letter B, he said, I'm going to be sick. So did you all got right? So let's listen one more time and check the answers as he's saying, right?
It's time for our popular competition, Get Personal, with your host, Bobby Brown.
Good evening and welcome to this week's Get Personal. Let's meet our first couple, Rosie and Dave. As you know, Rosie and Dave are in separate studios. Rosie can't hear Dave, and Dave has no idea what Rosie is saying, but they can both hear me. Okay, are you ready to play Get Personal?
Yes,
Bobby.
Right, we'll start with you, Rosie. We want you to remember exactly what was going on when you first met Dave, okay?
Okay, Bobby.
Now, Rosie, how did you first meet Dave?
Well, I was working as a nurse and Dave was my patient. He came into the hospital for an operation.
Okay, Rosie, I want you to think about the moment when you first met. What time of day was it?
I was working nights that week, so early evening.
And what was the weather like?
Oh dear. I think it was raining. Yes, it was raining when I arrived at work.
What were you both wearing when you saw one another for the first time?
Now that's easy. I was wearing my nurse's uniform and he was wearing pyjamas, blue pyjamas. Or were they green? No, blue.
Finally, who spoke first and what did he or she say?
Dave spoke first. In fact, he shouted at me. He said, "Nurse, I'm going to be sick."
Oh well, that's very romantic. Thank you, Rosie.
Okay, so we're gonna finish here and then we're gonna go on with this activity next class. Please don't forget your homework, okay? See you next class.
发